Hello and welcome to this episode of Diary of a Common Man. My name is Salim Lalani. In this episode, we are going to be talking about a particular ayat in the Quran Sharif. What relevance does it have with the Ismaili prayers and how critical it is to the understanding of the Islamic Ummah in relation to this matter? We will see that in just a minute. But before that, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, like and share, and please don't forget to press the bell icon. Many Muslims over the years have told me that they knew something was not right inside the Ismaili Jamaat Khana in relation to Islam and its principles. But they did not know how does it all work. And I don't blame them, because even the disciples of AgaKhan don't understand what's going on. It is so secretive, so ambiguous, that it is designed in a way that nobody understands it. So what we are going to do today is to basically pick a particular ayat from the Quran and put a perspective around it and give you an idea as to how the deception works. Surah Fatah, ayat number 10. Allah says, Inna alladhina yubayunaka innama yubayuna Allah yadullahi fawqa aydihim faman nakata fa innama yankutu ala nafsihi waman awfa bima ahad alayhullah fasyutihi ajran azima. This means, O Prophet, verily those who give thee their allegiance give it to Allah Himself. Allah's hand is upon their hands. Then he who breaks it, he certainly breaks it against himself. And he who fulfills what he has pledged with Allah, he shall reward him in plenty. This ayat is recited in AgaKhani Jamaat Khanas on a daily basis, 3 times a day. But do you think they understand the meaning of it? Leave alone the message, leave alone the perspective. Having spent all my life and having dealt with people inside the Jamaat Khana all my life, I can tell you that there are people you can count on the fingertips who would know the meaning of this Quran ayat and its perspective and its importance and its significance. So this video is also a sort of an educational video, not only for the Ismailis but those Muslims who don't understand how it is misused in the Jamaat Khana. It will make you aware of it. Allah is very clear in this ayat that he who gives allegiance to the Prophet of Islam, he gives the allegiance to Allah. So a relationship has been established. A relationship whereby Allah gives the authority to the Prophet Rasul's Karim to accept the bay'ah on his behalf. And this relationship is very critical for you, my listeners and my viewers, to understand. Relationship, once again, Allah has authorized the Prophet of Islam Karim to accept bayah on his behalf. Now let's go inside the Jamaat Khana, AgaKhani Jamaat Khana, and I will quote a farman by AgaKhan III, the 48th Imam of Ismailism, Nizari Ismailism. In that farman, he says, "You perform bayah, but you must first understand its meaning and then offer bayah. When you offer me bayah, it means that you extend your hand to me with a promise. He who obeys me and promises me to follow me after offering me bayah, I also give him my promise that I shall hold his hand in the hereafter. The trials and tribulations of the day of judgment are very frightful and very painful. I will keep him away from this." Now, by the way, this farman was made on 31st of October 1903 in Manjewadi in India. Now, did you see the parallel between this farman and ayat number 10 of Surah Fatah? The parallel is that Allah is saying that I will protect him and I will reward him. Whoever breaks the allegiance and whoever keeps it. So Sultan Muhammad Shah does exactly the same. He says that I promise you to protect you from the hellfire. So in other words, Sultan Muhammad Shah has played Allah in this particular farman. But he doesn't stop there. He doesn't stop there. That is shirk, by the way. But he and his successor, Karim AgaKhan, they go one step forward. Is the relationship that Allah created with the Prophet of Islam, the AgaKhans created the same relationship with their Mukhi. So, AgaKhan would play Allah, as we just saw in the Farman, and he would give the authority to his Mukhi to accept bayah on his behalf, exactly the same way as Allah gave the Prophet of Islam the authority to accept the bayah. Do you now see the parallel? That AgaKhan has become Allah and the Mukhi Sahib has become the Prophet of Islam. This reminds me of once again of the Qadiani affair. Remember, Qadianis claimed that there was a prophet after the Prophet, Nauzubillah. And as a result of that, they were declared non-Muslims and persecuted in many countries. But are the Muslims aware that what is happening in the Ismaili Jamaat Khana is much worse than that? Because Qadianis produced one prophet. In AgaKhani system, you have thousands upon thousands of prophets all over the world working like the Prophet of Islam, Nauzubillah. Right now, as we speak and as you are listening to me, thousands upon thousands, every Jamaat Khana has got a prophet in the name of Mukhi. Mukhi for those people who don't know what a Mukhi is. Mukhi is a representative of the Imam in that particular Jamaat Khana. Jamaat Khana is obviously the place of AgaKhan worship. Every Jamaat Khana is represented by a Mukhi. And Mukhi accepts the bayah of the people on behalf of AgaKhan. Now, what does it mean to Muslims and what does it mean to Ismailis or AgaKhanis? Let's first of all talk about AgaKhanis. Those AgaKhanis who are listening to me right now, ask yourself, did you know this? That your Imam is acting, playing Allah, and your Mukhi is playing the Prophet of Islam? Did you know it? Did you understand the fourth part or the deception hidden inside the fourth part of your dua? If you didn't, what will you do now that you have understood it? Do you agree that the Mukhi should continue to be the Prophet of Islam and your Imam who has displayed undesirable conduct, should he act Allah, nauzubillah? I will leave that to you. If you think you should just brush it under the carpet, do it. But if you think you should not, you should definitely raise a question. And I know raising a question in the Jamaat Khana about these matters is not convenient at all. In fact, it can mean persecution, it can mean ostracization, it can mean a lot of different things, but not if you go as a group. Not if you go as a group. They will try, your leadership will try and talk you out of it. They will even intimidate you. They will even say to you that your iman is not right. They will use all sorts of blackmailing, emotional blackmailing techniques. But if you have any regard for Islam, Allah, and the Prophet of Islam, then you should create a group and go and approach your leadership. This is not on. This is not on. And if it is on, ask your missionaries, ask your ulama, ask your imam to confront Salim on his channel, or confront any Islamic ulama. The very fact that nobody would come out confronting Salim for last 3 years is evidence enough that they are hiding a lot. They have a lot to hide, and they are blackmailing you into believing and into practicing anti-Islamic ideas. Ideas designed for the benefit of AgaKhan and his leaders. And it is no wonder AgaKhan will never front up. And it is no wonder your leaders will not front up, because they have a lot to lose. And hence they will intimidate you, and hence they will not allow freedom of expression inside the Jamaat Khana. They will not allow it. On the other hand, I leave it up to you. Do not go on your own. The bigger the group, the better it is. Now let's come to the Muslim Ummah. The question I asked to you, did you know it? Did you know this? The blatant insult of Islam in the Ismaili Jamaat Khana in relation to your Prophet and more importantly, your Allah. Your Allah that you pray to 5 times a day. Did you know this? If you did, should you be asking a question? Am I asking you to go and fight with AgaKhanis? Is that my purpose? No. It has never been my purpose. I've never been an advocate of violence. Never been an advocate of violence and never will be. But a dialogue. If you love your Allah as you regularly pray, I have seen people praying on the streets. Why? Because they love their Allah and their Prophet. If somebody was to insult your mother or your sister, would you just walk away? Would you turn a blind eye? No. At the least, you will confront that person. Am I correct? You will. You will do more. I know that. But at the least, you will confront that person. In this case, your Imam and your Prophet is insulted. Do you turn a blind eye? Is that a Muslim? Or is it a munafiq? Munafiq is a hypocrite. He is not a Muslim. Are you a munafiq or are you a Muslim? If you are a munafiq and you are still going to your masjid and praying 5 times a day, no point. You're wasting your time and you are wasting everybody's time. Prayers come out of love. Going to the masjid, going down in prostration, it comes out of love for Allah. Because He is our creator. He is our sustainer. That is why we pray. Should we be turning a blind eye? The eye that we will not turn if somebody insulted our mother or our sister. But we would turn that eye if somebody was to insult our Allah and our Prophet. Once again, I am not asking you to be violent. In fact, I will not tolerate it. I am advocating that you create a group just like the AgaKhanis and confront the Ismaili leadership. You cannot access AgaKhan. He is too much a coward to front up the public. He won't do it. He has ignored the 1,000 people when we did the petition. And nor did his cowardly leadership, nor did his cowardly Jamaat confront me and the 1,000 people that raised an issue. The Aga Khan will not turn up, and nor will the leader. You will have to find the leadership in the local Jamaat Khana near you. And how to do it? If you want to do it as a group, please let me know. Doesn't matter where you are. Doesn't matter what country you are in. I can help you raise a question. That's all I ask. As a Muslim, should that be your minimum duty? To ask a question that please stop insulting my Allah and my Prophet. If you should, please get in touch with me. If I don't hear from you, that is fine, perfectly fine. Remember, there is a Muslim, there is a hypocrite, munafiq, and then there is a mu'min as well. What is a mu'min? Do you know what a mu'min is? Mu'min is the person who loves Allah and His Prophet, and he is a Muslim by heart, and he makes sacrifices. Not the sacrifice of a goat. No. He sacrifices himself, his happiness, his money, his time. He works for Allah. He works for the protection of the sanctity of Islam. That is a mu'min. Whether you are an imam, whether you are a sheikh, whether you are a mufti, or whether you are an ordinary Muslim, doesn't matter. In Islam, every person, every Muslim is same in the eyes of Allah. Ask yourself, are you a Muslim? Or are you a mu'min? Or, God forbid, are you a munafiq? I'll leave that to you. I thank you for your time. I hope you have liked this video. In this video, I have said a couple of things that may potentially offend a couple of group of people. If you are offended, I offer my humble apologies to you, but I stand by whatever I have said. Yeah, you can ask me questions if you didn't understand something. You can confront me if you didn't understand something. I will happily answer your questions, and I will happily be there to front up and respond. I'll see you next week. Until then, goodbye. Take care of yourself. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.